Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
Hi, I'm DK Will, and this is DK Will Talk About It. And I'm going to talk about something a little bit different and totally off topic. Although if you listen to my intro trailer on my channel's page, you'll know that I said we'll talk about just about anything. And something happened with my wife and myself when we went to this Memorial Wildlife Area, James A. Reed. I live in a Kansas City area, a suburb called Lee Summit. And the James Reed A. Reed Memorial Wildlife Area is a nice place that we go and let the dogs run. Sometimes bring the parrot and let the parrot hang out in a tree, and we just chill out there for a while. And as you can see, it's a pretty large size, 3,000 plus acres of land. And so we usually try to find a place where nobody's fishing or doing anything else, and we let the American pit and the dachshund run. They love it, and we just chill. But today something happened that I'm going to make a video about because I want you guys to see it, and I want you to tell me what you think it is, because I'm going to tell you what I think it is, and DK's going to talk about it. And so what I did was we went to this park, and after we went there, I came across a track, an animal track. And that animal track prompted me to go and ask the question, are there wolves in Missouri? And then when I clicked on the link here, it took me right to the same place again as the James A. Reed. It's the Missouri Department of Conservation. And it took me to the section about wolves. And what it said about wolves as far as their habitation in the area that I live, it's rare. It's rare for them to be there. It even has their size, 60 to 120 pounds. They've been extirpated from Missouri, and individuals will occasionally wander into Missouri. So you're unlikely to see a wolf. You're way more likely to see a coyote, which is a much smaller animal. That's okay. That's okay. And so I came across a track, and I'll tell you what I think it is. I'll get there. I'm going to get there. And I looked at what's their signs and tracks, and you take a look at that. Put that in your memory banks, because that looks very much like what I saw when we were walking. Just strolling there slowly across the bank there, and I saw that, and I just couldn't pass it. It was phenomenal what I saw. I'll get there, but you can see the front track, which looks like we saw a front track among other tracks in a bit of a mess, like something had happened there, but one good beautiful track. And they say the front tracks are about 4¼ to 5 inches long, 4 toes, comparatively more rounded and wider than their hind track. And that's pretty much what I saw right there. Aside from seeing the track, I also saw a deer carcass. And it was certainly a deer carcass because part of the hind leg was still there with the hoof and everything. And of course there were deer tracks nearby too. And it was laying on the side of the pond or lake. It's more like a pond than a lake, but it's good size. And it had been cleaned pretty good. It had been cleaned pretty good except for pieces left on the leg there, like I said. And I was wondering, well, I wonder who killed this. I don't think it came to the edge of the water to die. And so what you see before you is my foot in my blue suede shoes. They're not really suede, but they're partially suede. And a dog print. That's not the print I saw. That's a print I called my American pit bull over, Lady. And I said, Lady, come here. And I wanted her to step in the same place where I saw the print that I saw, and I wanted to make a comparison. So there's Lady's print right there in comparison to my foot. Lady is an American pit bull, and she is probably about 50 pounds and probably stands up to my knees on her shoulders, and I'm about 6 feet tall. Okay, and so there's Lady's paw print for comparison. So in this scientific study of mine, I look for large dogs and their tracks because I knew the track that I saw was ridiculously large. And so this is a mastiff here, a huge mastiff. You can see it in the picture. And it asks the question, what do the tracks of a 140-pound dog look like? Well, it goes on to show here, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4-inch paw here. This is the front track of the Mastiff above, same dog. It was made by a muddy paw on concrete, so there's no depth to it, no mud for it to sink into. Here we have the hind track of the same Mastiff above, also a muddy paw on the concrete. And here we have the Mastiff's tracks in the mud, so we have the front stepping into it with the back. And here we have Mastiff pass from muddy feet on concrete. Standing there, we can see this is easily 1, 2, 3, maybe we'll give it 4 inches. And up here we can see going across 1, 2, 3, same thing. We'll give it about 4 inches of a track. And there's a picture of the bottom of this giant dog right here.
So what I excuse me, what I decided to do was go find some measurements on some wolf tracks. And I did. I was able to find some. And the very first one you see here, it's at Lower Peninsula. So I'm thinking it's up in the Michigan area. And you can see in the Lower Peninsula, they measured a wolf track. And we look like we have about a 1, 2, 3, 4-inch track. 2, 3, 4-inch track. Okay, maybe 5. It's hard to see on this screen's kind of small here when I'm recording. And I got bad eyes. Here's another one. It didn't identify where it was from, the type of wolf, but I can clearly see 1, 2, 3, 4-inch track. I can still see that. And over here was the big guy. This was the Alaskan wolf. And the Alaskan wolf, it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-inch track. If you go to here, however, it didn't really start on 0. It started maybe at a 1/2 inch. So about a 5.5-inch track, but it was by far the largest of the tracks that I found. That was the track that I encountered. Now, there's no point of reference there right now other than my foot. And like I said, I wear a size 12 shoe. This may look a little longer than normal. I don't know because of the putting the picture in. But we can see clearly that it kind of lines up here and it lines up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on here and there's that foot. This is that same right foot, folks. And this is a tape measure. And you can see there's a 2 under there. So this is the 1 where it starts up here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Blah, blah, blah. Keep on going. I wear a size 12. And we can see the eyelets and the lines in my shoe, which fortunately help. And this is the other size 12 foot. This is my left foot. Put your right foot down, put your left foot down, do something else, I don't know, and turn it all around. But anyway, I am not trying to trick you, okay? There it is. This is a little bit out of an angle on the tape measure, as this is more parallel, but that's not really relevant because this is the left foot and I measured the track with the right foot. So as we go further, there it is, folks. I did my best to draw this as a straight line down. If anything, I came in a little bit and then tried to make it back out just slightly, but it's fair enough. It goes down and it goes to about after the leather part to the suede part of my blue suede shoes. And then when you go to the end of it, there you can see the end of it, as fair as I could be, and I came down and it's clearly right about that eyelet, the bottom of that eyelet. Okay, so what does this size compare on my size 12 foot with those 3, 4, 5-inch dog and wolf prints? Okay, well, there you have it. We are talking about a print, folks, that was about 7 inches long. Canine, clearly canine. Recall the pictures that we saw? Here's that track. About 7 inches long. And Missouri doesn't really have wolves. Every now and then you'll see a coyote. Yes, this is a preserve, but clearly the track that I saw looked like this. This is a wolf track from the conservation. This is a mastiff track, which is about 3.5 to 4 inches. This is an Alaskan wolf. This is a Lower Peninsula wolf. And this is an American pit bull, my American pit bull. And so we've seen the comparisons, folks. And yeah, I began to wonder, what made that track? Why was that deer carcass there? We've been there a few times to let the dogs run, several times to let the dogs run. And although we did walk to an area that we hadn't visited before, it was close to a place where we actually held a picnic, um, and let the dogs run and chase and do what they do and get fleas on one occasion. But none of ticks, not fleas, ticks. But no, this was in the summer. Nonetheless, folks, this is DK. We'll talk about it. I'll talk about anything. And I wanted to talk about this because I thought this is worthy of sharing with my viewers. Change of pace. Very interesting, I thought. And so what we had here was a chance encounter with a K9 track that was ridiculously large, with no evidence whatsoever of sliding. It was relatively deep in that muddy portion. You can see I'm standing there. I did not leave any major impressions in the mud. Okay, it may have been a little drier when we got there, but I didn't leave very many impressions, and I weigh about 220 pounds. Okay, so this thing did carry some weight with it, and we saw that wolves go up to about 120 pounds. And so I'm not going to give a wolf more credit at 120 pounds of putting a dent in that mud more so than me at 100 pounds bigger. And I assure you, there was no major prints. I wish I had thought to do that then and to show you, but I didn't. So, folks, what do you think it was? I wonder what it was. I don't know what it was, but I do know what I think it could have been. Okay. Are you ready for this? We're too far from Alaska to have a wolf print bigger than an Alaskan wolf. Even a bull mastiff print couldn't get better than about 4 inches. And I looked up the Borough dog and the African bulldog. It didn't make much of a difference, although I couldn't get a good picture for a print to support my claim. But any way you slice it, if you have an Alaskan wolf with a print that's 5.5, 6.5 inches, no, it was 5.5 inches long. And here we see one that is clearly 7 inches long. Well, DK will talk about it. And I'm wondering, I'm not going to say it. Does anybody know what that is they're looking at? No, I am going to say it because I said I would say it in the end. And in the end, I'm going to say Dogman. Okay, I'm going to still talk about the dinar. I'm going to still talk about the cryptocurrencies, AMP, XRP, global currency reset, gold-backed currencies. I'm going to stay on that topic. It's a popular topic. In fact, the most popular topic for my videos is the dinar. I'm trying to shake y'all loose of that because it's bigger than the dinar. We'll get there. You'll hear this in my films until I get it across. Folks, I think I saw a dogman. Not a dogman. I think I saw the prints of a dogman. And I think I saw the kill of a dogman in a wildlife preserve in the northwestern section of Missouri in a Kansas City suburb south of Kansas City called Lee Summit. I'm DK Will. This is DK Will Talk About It. And I've talked about it. Have a wonderful day.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.